So after finding all those brains and oh god, it's time to beat the heck out of these guys. They need to suffer for what they did to those poor kids, even if it wasn't technically them that did it. Now you may have spotted that one of those guys had the collectible left arm. I'm for quite a while going to be absolutely terrible at collecting those, but don't worry, I'm going to improve, particularly because there's a very, very helpful thing that we're going to get later on, at the end of the next mission actually, that will allow us to very, very easily get those hands.
For now, yeah. But that room, those were cyborg brain casings.
Yeah.
We saw.
George said they were harvesting organs from kids.
Yes. This must be why they are trafficking children. Perhaps
Probably.
other organs are being sold elsewhere.
Oh,
but they are
God, it's horrible.
taking their brains.
Jesus. Are they making these kids into cyborgs?
Wait.
This is the point at which this game gets
Like they might be kids.
quite
You said earlier,
horrible and difficult to stomach, really.
Yeah.
This is
Those weren't kids.
Metal Gear Rising in its serious
what?
moments.
Desperado's just doing the surgeries there?
We've got to do something about all those brains. And the other kids George was talking about. He just escaped a few hours ago. They couldn't have taken all their brains out that fast.
True. There could still be a bunch of kids they haven't touched yet.
I better move.
Indeed. So, now we get to pick up a dwarf gecko and control it. So we are taking a dupe, as Doctor would say. And yeah. Now, what I'm about to do is be really stupid.
Now, use it to locate a data input terminal.
Because essentially what you need to do is
Any funny business?
get rid of all of the guards to make your job a lot easier. Also,
Try latching onto cyborgs' heads from behind.
if you dance with all of the dwarf geckos, then you get a get an achievement, I believe. I don't quite know how you do the dancey dance. Also, I couldn't remember whether it was destroy all the dwarf geckos. No, it's dance with them. They're hidden all over. And also, do be very, very careful when you are going up against the guards, because they will kill you. So if you are an idiot like me and do that, then you basically just need to run to the exit of this room, because you aren't going to be able to make any progress further than this right now. We're just going to have to clear the room out with Raiden when we are done with this. Thankfully, this really isn't a difficult room to get through. And once you're through here, you're done. But, yeah. I did really, really badly there.
Let's try using it to access the lab's...
USB ports. Always fun when you get them, try to put things in the wrong way around. Just gets in the way, really, doesn't it?
I found something. In one of the Sentry Cyborg's visual logs. Guess who shows up?
Oh, I don't know. A murderer by chance? Wouldn't surprise me if that was the case. Oh, looky, there he is. Mr. Sundowner. Such a lovely fella. Want to punch him in the face if you don't mind, but we'll get to that eventually, I suspect. He's one of 2/3 bosses that get any sort of build up to them.
Just do not have the full quantity yet. Each brain has its own unique
Because, I mean,
requirement.
if there's one thing that I will definitely criticise Metal Gear Rising for, is that for Mistral and our next two bosses, there's no build-up to them. They just kind of appear either right before you fight them, or not very long before you fight them. And then you kill them, and then that's that. They're done. That's their entire story arc. They haven't had any chance to grow, and that annoys me slightly. It's not like cause even when it's the case in like No More Heroes or whatever, where the whole point is you get to the end of the stage, you beat up the boss. In that instance, it makes more sense because you are being sent to kill these people, so you learn who they are as you kind of get to them. There's no need for them to build throughout multiple chapters. But here,
You see that, Kev? Inmani's killer.
it feels a bit more useful to have them
The kids.
Think we're too late?
built up,
Only one way
really.
to find out. George was
I don't know.
Maybe the payment hasn't come through yet.
I guess it's just, it doesn't, to me, it doesn't feel like they are as
There must be more than just what I found here.
thrilling to beat as they could have been if the characters had been built up more,
Definitely seemed familiar.
if you get what I mean.
I'm going after the kids.
Either way, it's time to go after the kids, and because we were an absolute nana, we now have to do some murdering. I really love the pole arm. It's just so useful. Now, in here, I believe, is the the health pickup for the chapter. So we need to go and locate that. Also, beat up this dwarf gecko and kill it. Kill it in a hail of electrolyte, electricity-filled, murderful glory. Now, whenever you're killing the guys with the left arms, make sure to chop off the left arm before you kill them, because otherwise you're kind of screwing yourself out of the left arm, unfortunately. So, over here is the chest, and in it is our health pickup. So, excellent, we are now good to go. And to progress, we just need to go through this door right here. And already, we're about to face down the boss of the chapter. Joy. What? Seriously?
No way. I merged the GPS location of our entry with all my movement data from that point on.
You guys screwed up? Bloody hell.
You think they got to him first?
I don't know. I'll have our guys sweep the area.
Thanks. I better keep moving.
Pretty good idea, Raiden, I think. But yeah, we're at the end of the chapter now. It's weird. It feels like it's a bit of a short chapter. Also, do make sure that you have your repair nano pastes selected, because it's so useful, especially if you are as reckless as I am when it comes to playing Rising. So here we go, the Grad, which looks ever so slightly threatening right now. And it's going to look more threatening now that it's transformed into a biped mode. But, oh well. It's really not that bad. In fact, it's well, it's one of the easier bosses because coming in the next few chapters, there's not that many in the game, but the Grad becomes a regular enemy. That's how much of a non-boss it is. So, this is going to go slightly contrary to what I said the last time, but I mean, anyway, after Rules of Nature, what I would have quite liked was if they had more cyborgs to beat up, because as it is, there's two chapters in the game that have no cyborg boss fight. I guess you could say that one of the chapters that follows it is the cyborg boss fight for that chapter, but they're two separate chapters, so they don't count. But because Mistral's a really interesting concept, the boss that we're going to face at the end of the next one's a really interesting concept. I think Platinum could have done a lot with more concept. Well, there could have been more cyborgs to fight, because if there's one thing that this game gets criticised for quite a lot, is that it's really short. And while that's not always a bad thing, they certainly could have
I knew I'd seen that guy before.
let it go a little bit longer, which would have been quite nice, I think.
Senator Stephen Armstrong. They're already talking
Give
about
you
him
a
as show
bit
him for
more
nomination
time to get used to some of the controls
And get this.
and introduce
2 years
other
ago, a
practices
federal
that
grand jury investigated
I
his ties
will
to a
bring these up
certain
as we go along, but
World Marshal,
frequently
one of the biggest PMCs out there.
Metal Gear Rising expects you to do certain things
Not to mention
later
the
on,
single
but
largest
never
investment in military
really
cyborg
teaches
R&D in the
you
world.
to do them.
Guess that answers the question of who's
I'll explain more
back
when we
Desperado.
get to that,
Marshal
but
and Desperado in bed
yeah.
together. Should make for some fun headlines.
Indeed.
Headlines. This is World Marshal and a U.S. Senator we're talking about. There won't be any headlines. Even without the Patriots filter, no major media outlet will investigate allegations like these.
It's really sad that the media is so
So we just what?
annoying like
Sit back
that.
while they keep carving up kids,
In that
stand aside while they build an army of
they'll quite
cyborgs.
happily break laws to get their stories, which is sometimes really disgusting and horrible. But then they will now
No, Raiden, no.
sometimes not
No,
cover
it's
stories
and
that
just
are
know
definitely in the public
Colorado
interest.
is in America,
Um,
and America has these
because
things
of-
called laws.
Yeah,
And law enforcement in Denver was
everything's
armed
corrupt, it's
and
terrible.
armed out, too.
Marshal, yes, so what? There are still laws, and it's their headquarters, for Christ's sakes. You'd be heading right into the heart of a raging shitstorm.
Oh
I
well.
didn't say it would be easy. We'll figure it out once the kids are safe.
Jesus Christ. Kevin, out.
So long, Kevin. It's going to happen, you do realise this. Raiden's like totally a lone wolf. Which is why he's friends with Blade Wolf. You see, they were quite clever and punny with that. So, unlike the other chapters where the boss signalled the end of the stage, there is a tiny little bit more that we can do here. Ever so tiny, it's literally just like beat up these two guys. And then we're done, essentially. This chapter is weird, a little bit. But as you can see, the end of the chapter is nigh. We've just got one more room to go, and we literally just have to listen to Doctor, and that is it.
What do you mean?
That device is filled with synthetic blood plasma. It can slow the metabolism of a harvested organ, circulating this plasma to sustain oxygen levels. You can preserve an arm, a brain, any body part
Lovely.
for several hours.
So what are they freezing?
That's
and why?
slightly horrifying.
Let's see. Perhaps they plan to sell off the organs of the children they were told to dispose of.
Unbelievable.
It's really disgusting, and
Right.
oh god, when I see the guy who's done all this, I'm going to cut him in half. He deserves that much. Oh, thank God the kids are safe. Hoof!
Shit!
Oh no, they're not. Pete's sake.
Hey, stop right there.
Oh look! It's the guy who did this. And he's got George. Wonderful. Even more reason to kill him.
George! Raiden!
You've heard of chloroform? A potent anesthetic in smaller doses. But breathe too much of it? And adios, muchachos.
This is even more grim. Bloody hell.
And I'll blow his brains out. Surrender. Or decide. The needs of the many or the needs of the few.
The needs of the both.
Raiden!
Yeah,
Don't worry about me
that's my
now.
logic.
Pendejo. Surrender. I won't ask again.
George, are you sure? I'm ready. Me life now so precious. Ting, what if we can take this skunt to hell with me?
Cállate.
That's all I needed to hear.
Stop it! Now! I'll kill him, I swear!
And a 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Told you we were going to cut that blighter in half. Unfortunately, George was kind of in the way. Sorry, George, buddy. You'll be fine. We've got a one of the best cyborg creator people in town. He's like really good and stuff. So yes, after finishing chapter R-02, we have the chance of getting the mariachi uniform if you want to. There are multiple different costumes that you can get for Raiden. Some which you get through just by playing through the game. Others, and there's quite a lot of them which were downloadable content, like Grey Fox costume, I think Metal Gear Solid 4 costume, and so on and so forth, which all had different perks. Either way, I think we need to upgrade a bit, and then it's time to move on to the next chapter, which is interesting to say the least. Yes, I think interesting is probably the best way to describe it. Either way, with one last look at some of the skills that we can't get, let's go.